In this tutorial, we'll be going over the Excel function match. So what is a match? It is a lookup function that returns the relative position of an item in a list. So and here we have a quick look at the actual function and the parameters. So the list that is referring there, let's say this is an example right here. What the match function is going to do is basically look up a value that we assign within the list, in this case, in this list, and find where that value is located and return a value, the position of that value. So let's do an example right here. Enter equals match, open parentheses. The first parameter is the lookup value. The lookup value is going to be Jack, so we're going to look for Jack. Hit on that cell, auto populates it with B3 where it is located. Enter comma. Now the next parameter is the lookup array, which is our list. Our list is going to be here, so start from Mike all the way down to Tony, which is the array where we want to look for Jack. So we're going to have match look for Jack within this list and find where it is and return the value of the relative position. In this case it should turn 2, but let's go ahead and move on. Enter comma. The last parameter is going to ask us what type of match we want. We want an exact match, so we're going to enter 0, close parentheses, and again Jack is the match is going to look through the list from top to bottom, and Jack is on the number 2 cell count in this list. So if we hit enter, it should give us a 2, and it does give us a 2. Now let's copy this cell and let's look at Tony and Sue. If we look at Tony here, we see that Tony comes there's 2 entries for Tony in this list. But like previously said, match is going to look through the list from top to bottom, and it will always return every time it finds that value for the first time, that's the value that's going to return. So in this case it's going to look Mike, Jack, and then it's going to find Tony on the 3rd cell, so it should return a value of 3 instead of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the second Tony. So it's going to return us the first Tony at the 3rd cell. So let's go ahead and enter that. Actually, we'll just copy the formula that we just entered and paste it over here, and it gives us an A. That's because we didn't lock the table array. So let's go ahead and delete this, and let's lock this table array. Hit F4 to enter to lock it, and it enters the $sign in front of the letters and sign and numbers. Hit enter, and when we copy this now, the table array will stay the same while the other unlocked cell B3 is going to move down to C3. Let's do that. Copy and paste, Control V, and it gives us 3. We can double check that the table stays still on B7 through B13, and C3 is referencing Tony. That's correct, and it should be 3 because again it's on the 3rd cell on this list. Let's check with Sue. Sue, we don't have it here, so technically it should give us an error, and it does give us an error, so that is a correct return in that case. Now the match function can also look through the list on a horizontal list rather than a vertical. In this case, match is going to start from the left and then to the right. So let's go ahead and let's type in the formula. Equals match, open parentheses, the lookup value is going to be Jack. We're going to look for Jack, and like in this case it should return a number of 2 because it's going to be the 2nd cell in this list, and it's going to look from left to right, so it should turn a number 2. Moving on, enter comma. The lookup array is going to be the list here, so we'll highlight it. Let's lock it, hitting F4. comma, and we want an exact match, so enter 0, close parentheses, enter, and it does give us a number 2. So match is quite flexible in that sense. You can look through a vertical list as well through a horizontal list. The only thing to keep in mind is that direction where it starts looking for that looks through, it goes from top to bottom, then from left to right. Another thing to keep in mind is that the list has to be only either one row or one column. If you do a table for the list or for the table array, then it's going to always return an error value. So keep that in mind as well when you use this function. Thank you for watching this video, and we'll move on the next video to the index function.